Hey guys, Paul here from REO Auction Academy, and today's December 29, 2020. And what I want to get into is my plans for 2021. And in this video, I'm going to give you areas that the 8 best states to invest in real estate wise in 2021. Okay, first state, Texas, most important, right? You have so many people leaving California and going to Texas. And why is that? Among other states, right? It's happening here in the Northeast too. People are going there as well. Jobs, number one, jobs. Number two, there is no state income tax. Number three, cost of living is lower. Number four, you get a better quality of people in general down there. So there's a lot of reasons to move to that state. And that's the reason it's on my list as number one. Now, my number two, personally, would be Tennessee. And again, a no income tax state, job growth, tremendous job growth. You have a lot of companies moving to Nashville, to Memphis, and to these different markets that are helping really boom that state in general. Third state that seems to be getting a lot, and it's not a no income tax state, but I guess it's a state that's desirable to live in because the weather is pretty good for this part of the year, and that would be Arizona. Fourth state would be New Mexico, again, very similar to Arizona. Fifth state, Florida. Florida's a no income tax state. You have a lot of baby boomers retiring, going down there, and you have more younger people moving down there as well. So that is happening. Jobs are always going to be good and plentiful down there as well. Again, low, no income tax state, so you're going to draw businesses there. My next two markets are kind of conjoined here, North Carolina and South Carolina. You have Raleigh, North Carolina, which has become like another Silicon Valley area. Great for young people to go to. You have good tech jobs in that area. Charlotte's been booming since the 80s. And the Carolinas both have a lower cost of living. They have lower taxes. They have nice amenities, right? There's a lot of different good food places. The weather's not bad. It's not the Northeast. It's not the Midwest. It's not the North where you do go through colder winters. So they're desirable places to be. Nevada is another one, and Nevada is, there's a couple of reasons why I like Nevada. One is proximity to California. It's close, so a lot of people from California moving to Nevada. Two, no income tax. Three, it's an escape route. So you have a lot of very rural areas in Nevada where people want to escape from the chaos that's going on in these cities. So Nevada is going to be a very desirable one. I think we'll see definitely growth in there as well. If I were to go beyond those, Utah would definitely be on there. Colorado's been on there for a while as far as we grow. So those would be my top 10. However, Colorado has a lot of undesirable things going on. It's becoming California, too much California, because it was the next Silicon Valley after California. And you have too many lockdowns, too many restrictions. The taxes are getting too high. It's a beautiful area, beautiful place to live, but it's going to be going downhill to me. So this is not a good long-term play as far as I'm concerned. I would play in Wyoming all day long before I'd play in Colorado as far as investing in real estate. But you're not going to be able to top Texas. And Tennessee, again, very good. Florida, you're going to have great growth. Arizona, great growth. New Mexico, you're going to have continued growth there. There's not as many jobs and as Arizona and New Mexico, right? You don't have as much opportunity, but it's still growing. So I do like that as a market. We see continued growth as people leave California. That's going to be another market that they end up going to. All right, so if you like those answers to where to invest in 2021, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now, next, what I'm moving into, what to expect for 2021. We already are in an economic downturn, right? The coronavirus threw us into that. We are going to be in an even larger one this year. If you thought 2020 was bad, 2021 is going to make 2020 seem like a Sunday afternoon picnic. Okay, it's going to be pure hell and chaos. Hate to say that in so many ways. So many lost jobs. Unemployment's going to be going through the roof again as these lockdowns continue. The virus, what they're creating right now to try to counteract the virus may or may not work. We'll see. I have very little faith that it will work, but they're going to try to force people to take this vaccine as much as possible. I'm personally not going to take it until I see it's going well for everybody else. I don't want any kind of, I'm going to build up my own immunity. I'm going to do things that I can do to build up my own health without having to take those things. I'm load up vitamin D and vitamin C and zinc, B12, and do those things to make myself healthy and not worry about this vaccine for now. And hopefully they don't put restrictions on flying or travel or anything because of that. But if so, I'll deal with it. And if I end up having to get a vaccine down the road, I may end up having to get the vaccine down the road. It is what it is. Okay. But economic downturn is going to be hitting us. It's going to be hitting us hard in 2021. And it's going to be hitting us even harder probably the next year and even potentially the year after that. But we'll see. What happens is when you print this much money, when you do these stimulus that they did there in April, May last year, and they did this one here, getting another 2 trillion, where they're just pumping money into the market. Stock market's probably going to go somewhere near $40,000, in my opinion. It's probably going to go somewhere up that high. Cryptos are going to continue to go through the roof. So if you're going to invest cryptos, not financial advice, but I'm buying cryptos and I'm going to continue to buy cryptocurrencies, which leads me to my next thing. Digital currencies. The US is probably going to create a US digital currency for people to get universal basic income in, with high unemployment expected to happen again this year and probably continue throughout the future, as a lot of jobs will be gone permanently. So UBI, as it's affectionately known, universal basic income, I expect it to be somewhere around $2,000 a month. And the reason people will like it overall is because, well, one, you won't have to worry about unemployment. Now you're going to qualify for something that you're just getting an automatic paycheck for. Two, it'll help landlords. Now landlords will get paid rent, and the people that get it will be able to afford the rent and be able to afford the utilities and hopefully afford food and those kind of things. So it's going to be kind of forced in on us. We're not going to like it. And unfortunately, it's going to give us more inflation. Things are going to cost more. You're going to see that happen. And the supply chain, as a lot of you have seen, between appliances and getting items for your home, if you're doing any home improvement projects, I'm sure you've seen the supply chain totally break down. It takes forever to get almost anything. That's not going to get better. It's going to only get worse this year. Okay. And it's going to supply chain and the food, you're probably going to see issues there again, too, with meat packing plants maybe occasionally shutting down. And just different factors, potentially some weather causing some problems, shortages in different types of food products throughout the country and throughout the world. So expect that to happen. Which leads me into my next thing. I gave you the top 10 markets, top 8 really, with a couple of bonus ones in there. The next thing I'm going to give you is the migration. So we already had the migration from the cities to the suburbs. Our next migration, which will happen this year, which is already happening and happened in 2020, is going from the suburbs to very rural areas. So what happens is when you have all this chaos and unrest, civil unrest and rioting going on, obviously it was in the cities. Now it's going to get pushed out to the suburbs. And then it'll go from the suburbs to wherever they can possibly push next, but they can't go too rural, right? If you're going to very rural areas, you have nobody within miles, right? So you lose your effectiveness. So going from the cities to the suburbs will have effect, but they will not be able to go to very, very rural areas. So this is why rural areas are the play. If you can do it and keep it as a long-term play, if you hold some of these properties as rentals, that's great. If not, fix and flips, those will be the markets you're going to get your greatest returns on. So for me, my greatest returns on my fix and flips this year were in like the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania, rural markets. And the reason Pocono Mountains work so well for me, 2 factors, right? And for those of you who don't live in the Northeast, you don't know this, but very close to North Jersey and New York, people looking to escape those areas, very, city laden, everybody's on top of each other. And people are looking to escape, and that's where they're looking to escape. A lot of people are just getting second homes. Now people are moving there permanently because they figure their job is likely to be able to allow them to do it virtually for a pretty long period of time. So they are moving, and you're seeing that migration pattern. And this is going to become a very permanent thing. So your values will continue to go up in these very rural areas and somewhat suburban areas, right? Where your smaller little cities are being built, these smaller towns. And as they grow a little bit further and further out, that's where you're going to get true value down the road. The cities won't have value for years down the road until these viruses lose their effectiveness and people are healthy again. And then the cities will become another migration pattern down the road. So if you're looking for a migration pattern down the road, if you can find deals really, really cheap in some of these cities and cash flow, which really is difficult to do, try it. But if not, stick in the suburbs, stick in the very rural areas. That's my trends for 2021, what I see going on. In a future video, I'm going to hit certain towns, certain cities that I think will be very effective places for you to invest in real estate in 2021. So look for that one coming up here in early 2021. Hopefully you got a lot out of this video. If you did, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.